Hey there, fashion friends. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, welcome for the first time. I'm very happy that you are here with us. So what are we talking about on today's episode? Well, let's see.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.
So on today's episode, we are looking at 6 tips for when you are bored of your minimalist wardrobe, or just your normal wardrobe, or whatever type wardrobe you may have. All of these tips will work for any sort of wardrobe. The reason why I'm doing this episode is because I do get this question quite often. And I think for a lot of people that are new to having a minimalist wardrobe or new to capsule wardrobing, they do get a little bit nervous that they're gonna get bored. I will say that I feel like when you have a minimalist wardrobe or a capsule wardrobe, it actually, in my opinion, coming from somebody that's had both, has had a very maximized wardrobe just full of all sorts, to having a very refined wardrobe, very pared down wardrobe. I will say I actually find that I get less bored and more excited about my minimalist wardrobe because there's not a whole lot of noise. There's no noise to distract me. Saying that, with that, we are human. We all get bored sometimes. We like change. We like to spice things up. So I get it. There's definitely a time and a place for myself, and I'm sure for other people that have minimalist wardrobes that, you know, we get a little bored. Yeah, you know, we need a little shake up, you know? So with that, let's get into it. Okay, so number 1 is rotate. So not to get all mom on you here, but one of the tricks that I do with my son, and actually my mom used to do with us as well, is the whole rotating out trick. With the toys, I will pack away the toys that he's sort of bored with and not really playing with that much, and I'll store them away for up to a month, sometimes longer. And then on those days that he's kind of getting a little bit restless, a little bit bored with stuff, I will then pull out these toys that have been stored away for months, and it's almost like his birthday all over again. So it's just a really fun way to kind of change it up, refresh things. So it's the same sort of concept for our wardrobes. Is some people will actually go about it where they'll get in the routine of storing away their seasonal pieces, probably keep a few different pieces that are their key pieces, their key essential pieces, but then change out the seasonal key pieces. So this is a great way to go about it because ultimately then you are getting a fun refresh with each season without having to buy new stuff, without having to bring new stuff in. It's just, and it's something to kind of look forward to. It's something to kind of make things feel new again. Another approach would be just to basically, when you do get bored, you just take out the pieces that you're really bored of and store those away. What will happen there is that eliminating the items that you're really bored with, that you're just not inspired by, will allow you to kind of see the other pieces that you have left over in kind of a new light, just a little bit re-inspired with what you have left over. And then as well as that, down the line, whether it's a couple weeks, whether it's a few months, whether it's a year, then when you go back to those clothes that you stored away, it's almost as if they've revived themselves. So it sounds super simple, but it's super effective, I have to say. I would say this tip isn't necessarily of the moment, like it's not something that you can do like right now this second to revive, but it's something to be a little bit more forward thinking with, a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More proactive. Number 2 is rebel. Okay, so rebel against that comfort zone. So I think a lot of us get stuck in our comfort zone a lot of times, for sure, especially in this time of self-isolation, lockdown. It's super easy to get stuck in that little comfort zone. And I would say it can definitely affect your mood, for sure. So I think if you really start to feel yourself getting a little bored, I think a really fun way to go about it is to rebel against the comfort zone. So maybe it's on a Saturday when you don't really have a lot going on But what you can do is have like a full on try on session. So maybe it's that you turn some music on, get a glass of wine, and just kind of have some fun in your, you know, in your closet, Carrie Bradshaw style. Maybe it's that you have like a fun little Zoom call with your girlfriends and you guys all try your stuff on and kind of get each other's opinions and get some ideas. But ultimately the idea is to just try stuff on and get outside of your comfort zone. So don't try stuff on that you wear on a regular basis. Try your clothes on in a completely different way. So just style pieces together that you don't normally style. Something like this could be, maybe there's a certain trend that's happening that everybody's doing that kind of scares you. Like, what was that? There was the trend that was going on for a while, I think it was in the fall, with jeans and like a button-down dress, and having like a button-down dress with the bottom buttons undone and, you know, exposing the jeans. And this to me absolutely petrified me because I don't really wear dresses, but I absolutely loved the idea of it. And yeah, I definitely tried it on in the comfort of my own bedroom. And not that I felt like this was gonna be a look that I was gonna rock, but it definitely was fun to try, and it definitely got me out of my comfort zone in general and kind of helped me to see other things and other perspectives as well. So maybe it's just doing a bunch of crazy layers. Maybe it's that you don't ever wear jewelry or accessories and you layer on the jewelry and accessories. Maybe you always wear accessories, so you try not wearing accessories. Just doing things to kind of, you know, get you a little bit woken up. And not that you're gonna go with these particular looks or these styles, it's more that it'll give you a little of a fresh perspective, because you'll just start seeing things a little bit different. So it could just spark some inspiration that you otherwise would have maybe not discovered had you not stepped outside of that comfort zone. Number 3 is trade. So you could trade with a friend. This is a little bit tricky because you kind of have to have a similar style interest with your friend, and you also have to be similar sizes. But if you do have somebody with those two things, this is definitely a great opportunity to trade out some stuff and spice up your closet. Or maybe it's just shopping, you know, loved ones' closets. I'll actually shop my husband's side of the closet a lot of times when I'm feeling a little bit bored, because he's got some great pieces in there, let me tell you. The other option would be, if there's some pieces that you are getting bored of, they're just not finding that inspiration with anymore, is you could take those pieces to one of the secondhand stores like Buffalo Exchange and Crossroads. And I know there's a lot of different versions nationally and internationally. Everybody's kind of got their versions of those, but it's basically the secondhand stores that you can go into and bring like your nicer type clothes, your softly worn clothes, and either get money for it or get more money back for a store credit. So bring in those items and get the store credit, and then get some new items to sort of refresh the wardrobe. Even doing this just with one piece, maybe it's a pair of shoes that you're just super over, you're not into anymore, and you bring those in, trade them in for another pair of shoes. Just that one pair of shoes can completely transform a closet, can completely spice up and change your perspective on your pieces. Okay, number 4 is Pinterest. This is a great tool, I think, if you are able to go into it with a good mindset. And what I mean by that is ultimately going on there to look for inspiration and not to compare yourself to others. I think it's a slippery slope when we head to social media for inspiration, because it can quickly turn into the comparison game. And we all know that that is not a downward spiral that we want to go down. So, but what I love about Pinterest is that the keywords work so well. So it's like, if you want to get as specific as possible, you can get as specific as possible. So maybe you're looking for eclectic minimalist looks. It's such a great tool for that. You just type in eclectic minimalist women's looks, and you'll just have this catalog of eclectic minimalist looks. And then the beauty of that is you can then create mood boards to then save these looks and always be able to refer back to them. So I love that. I think that's such a great tool to have, and it doesn't even have to be like a full look that you're after. It doesn't need to be a full look that you're getting inspired by. It could just be a simple little style tweak. It could be that you have been wearing button-up shirts for years and years and years, and all of a sudden you see somebody do a collar pop. differently than how you've been doing your collar pop, and it completely transforms your world, you know? It could be as simple as seeing how somebody else rolls their sleeves. The idea of this is that we all have different perspectives, so we all see things differently. So I think sometimes why we get bored is because we keep seeing pieces in the same way, whereas if you go and you get somebody else's sort of perspective, you can still have the same exact piece, but it can look completely different with certain little tweaks. I think the part of it too is that not looking at it as, you know, copying what somebody else is doing. What you're ultimately doing is gaining inspiration from somebody else's perspective, and then you're translating that into your own perspective, into your own sort of aesthetic, and it completely transforms it into something that works for you. Okay, number 5 is accessories. So I've spoken to accessories quite a bit in the fact that I think accessories can have a big impact on our style, on our looks. And so this is definitely a great way to spice things up. And you can start off by just pulling out all the accessories you have and maybe just lining them up on your bed or on the floor or on the table, and just so you can get a really good perspective on all the accessories that you have. And then I would style just your basic sort of go-to look, and then go through each accessory and style them as many different ways as you can with that look. See how the different ways of styling that accessory can change the look. So maybe it's a scarf that you have. For an example, is I used a simple square scarf on one of my previous videos, on one of my previous module capsule wardrobe videos, and I basically showed all the different ways that that scarf could be styled. Just playing around with it and seeing what you can get out of each accessory and how it can transform a sort of basic go-to look. Then what that will do is I think will spark a lot of inspiration for other outfits. And again, it's just another way to get yourself to change perspective, to see things in a little bit of a different way, and ultimately get you out of that rut. And number 6 is new. If all else fails, bring something new into your wardrobe. I think some people think when you become like a minimalist, or when you have a minimalist wardrobe, that you sign some contract that says that you can only have these certain items and that's it. Never again can you buy anything else new. But it's just not the case. You're definitely allowed to bring new pieces into your wardrobe. I think it's just more about having the mindfulness of when you bring new pieces in and how you bring new pieces in. So being bored, being absolutely bored, and have tried all these other 5 tips and still just feeling a bit stagnant and blah, then yeah, bring something new. That is the perfect opportunity, perfect time to bring something new into your wardrobe. But again, when you go to bring that new piece in, just make sure that you're being super intentional with it. Make sure you are thinking about what gaps need to be filled, whether or not that item can circle back to most things in your wardrobe. If it's something that you absolutely love, do you have something that's already super similar to it? And what is the sort of function or bang for my buck that I'm gonna get out of this piece? So when you have those sort of preemptive, is that the right word? I think so. The preemptive thoughts, those preemptive sort of initiatives before you even purchase something, you're going to ensure that that piece is going to withstand the longevity of your wardrobe a lot easier. You're going to end up not getting as bored with that piece in the long run. So it's kind of being proactive, getting ahead of it. And if you're going to bring something new into your closet because of boredom, make sure you're bringing something in there that's going to help with that boredom for a long period of time. It's going to bring a whole another purpose or style edge to your favorite go-to outfits. Maybe it's a new pair of edgy black boots that's going to add that contrast to those basic looks and elevate the style of those looks. You know, try what you can first, and then yeah, if you need to bring something else into the wardrobe, there's nothing wrong with it. You're not gonna get arrested by the minimalist police. All right, so that is it for our 6 tips on spicing up a minimalist wardrobe. Woo. I hope that it was helpful. If you have any further questions, definitely comment below. I think the biggest takeaway here for today is that if you do feel yourself getting a little bit bored or a little blah, little meh with your wardrobe, I think the biggest thing to just keep in mind is that perspective. How can I kind of refresh the way I'm looking at these pieces? How can I refresh the style? But that's usually what it boils down to, is usually that we've just kind of lost a bit of perspective, or we've just kind of stayed in the same perspective for too long. Well, with that, you know what to do next. If you liked today's episode, give me that thumbs up, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe for future weekly episodes. All right, well, you have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay safe, love, and support each other, and we will definitely be chatting soon. Bye.